All right. Happy Sunday, my people. Sending everybody love, prayers, best wishes. How are you all doing? Welcome to the live show again. Another Sunday. Huh? This Sunday reminds me so much of last Sunday and all of the amazing conversation we had. Wow, wow, wow. Anyways, I always look forward to hanging out with you guys every weekend, and especially on Sunday. Sunday seems a little bit special. Is what Sunday seems like, a little bit special. So I'm happy to be back this Sunday again with you guys. Last Sunday, I want to say a very special thank you to everybody who tuned into our very important conversation. It was mind blowing. Honestly speaking, last Sunday was mind blowing, and I cannot thank you guys enough um, for tuning into that conversation. But today we are back with another important discussion. Today we are talking governance and government, and we will try to look at governance in River State and governance at the local government level. And today we are trying to have a conversation around governance in Bonny Local Government. Uh, but we are picking this from the center in River State down to the local government. I'll be breaking down a lot of issues, and there's a particular reason why I'm bringing the center into it. Is because just recently it seems like the center has been interested in what is really going on in Bonny, from our 27 jobs to many other things. So it seems like the center is now beginning to look interested in what's happening in Bonny. But before we talk about that, let's see how are we. How is the governance in the local government in Bonny even working for everybody? So let's try and look into that. And over time, I've been trying to reach out to people across different local governments in River State so that we can begin to also look at what is happening in other local government as time goes on. And I really would like someone in LMA local government because of the recent ship that just anchored at One in LMA. So it's a good one. For the first time, a heavy duty ship has anchored in River State, and that's a good news for all of us. It means our ports are viable. It means our ports can work. We only need the government at the central in Abuja to help us to make the ports work. So we'll be looking at some of these issues on governance across all levels. And today we're looking at Bonny. And my guest is Comrade Emmanuel Hart. He is the President Youth Coalition for Good Governance. Many who know Emmanuel, we know he has been he has been a good advocate for issues around governance, and he has been doing this for a very long time across different levels, talking about governance and how governments can do better to work. So I have him on the show today. Comrade, good afternoon. How are you doing?
Yes, fine. Thank you for having me.
Yes, yes. We are live now. We are live now. We are really happy to have you on the show. And today, there's no other person I know that can I can start this conversation with other than yourself, because you have been a key stakeholder in some of this conversation around governance, especially in Bonny local government. Okay. So, but before I start my show, like I always do, I always try to talk about why the show is up in the first place, so that my guests can understand and what we are doing and why we are doing it. So, many months ago, we thought of starting something that will be very educative and a platform to learn and discuss issues of concerns in our space, in our locality, in our state, and even at national level. And we've been doing this conversation, talking about different topics from technology to governance. We've also went as far as talk about global business, entrepreneurship. I mean, we try to bring people of repute to the show to speak to this subject, and we've done well. And this is the 32nd episode where we are now on. And I want to really thank God for the grace to push up. So this is what the show is about, and you're welcome. You're welcome to the show. Thank you for your
Thank
time.
you. Thank you.
Yeah, great. Okay, viewers, if you're watching, I know many people will have questions for Comrade Emmanuel. Before I allow him tell us a little bit about himself, you can drop your comments on the comment section. Questions and comments. I'll be reading a whole lot of them, and for us to have more engaging conversation today, please at the bottom of your screen, if you're using your phone, you can follow my page and turn on notification to know whenever I go live, and you can click on the share button to share this video on various groups and various platforms, and even on your timeline for more people to join the conversation. We want to look at governance in Rivers State, placing promises versus performance, and we are doing this, breaking it down specifically to Bonny Local Government of Rivers State. So I know there will be many questions. The conversation is going to be hot. So also good news, for the first time, we are streaming live on YouTube. So if you want to join us on YouTube, also you can do that. Just go to YouTube, find my name, Wisdom Chapp-Jumbo, and I'm sure you can watch us live and direct from YouTube. Comrade, once again, welcome to the show.
Yes, thank you, Wisdom Chapp-Jumbo.
All right, great one. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Many people have different ideas about who you are, but we know you that you have been leading the youth coalition for good governance for some time now. That's all we just know about you. Is that all there is? Tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Well, thank you. First, I want to really appreciate you. You've been so fantastic, and I want to commend you for what you're doing and for making sure the Bonny people that we have a voice. May God strengthen you. Secondly, I want to say that whatever position I hold in this interview or in this interactive program solely remains my views and does not represent any of my allies, my organization, or any other place I elsewhere. Well, like you know, my name is Comrade Emmanuel Hart, and yeah, I'm the President Youth Coalition for Good Governance. Position I was duly elected and won based on merits. I am also an engineer. I studied electrical electronics in River State Polytechnic. I graduated 2010. I also, in 2018, I also did instrumentation engineering at Federal Polytechnic Nekede, Owerri. And like you know, I've been very passionate when it comes to issues that concern Bonny Kingdom. So I've been an advocate of development, good governance. I think that I just feel I can say for myself.
Mm, all right.
Yeah.
You have been national chairman of the Youth Coalition for Good Governance. But so many people will argue that you don't speak to other national issues or issues of governance across the country, but you focus more on River State and Bonny Local Government. But you are the national chairman. Is this deliberate, or is that how the operation of the the group you represent is?
That's not really true reflection of the issue. I've
Okay.
actually I've actually spoken on several national issues. If you check our Facebook page and also our website, you'll see most of our advocacy, most of my press release, most of my comments. It is natural that, of course, because I'm from River State and I'm from Bonny, it is natural that I would always react to things close to our environment, and that's why maybe people have the perception that I don't talk on national issues. But
Okay.
if they go through my page and websites, they will see most of my press release as it borders around national issues and national problems. And also,
Mm.
yeah, that's what I've been doing so far.
Okay. I know most people have had that concern in many quarters, because when we hear national, we expect
Yeah.
a national breeze to it. Okay.
Yeah,
So, but you've been elected as national president since when?
yeah, since 2016.
2016. Oh, it's sort of like a 4-year tenure.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. All right. All right. Great. Okay. So, Youth Coalition has been very vocal on many issues, especially in Bonny, and one of the most recent one we can remember is the Enough is Enough campaign. What was this about? Because we also saw that there was a visit to the National Assembly in this regard. What were you driving, and what was your group driving with the Enough is Enough campaign?
Actually, first, I let me go a bit to memory lane. In 2016, 2017, some of us who were around then can attest to the fact that we had serious issues as it borders on sea piracy on our Bonny waterways. And with the wisdom of the governor, Chief Barrister Nyesom Wike, he gave Bonny people 8 gunboats at the time. So we were happy, and we felt that with the provision of 8 gunboats, I think the issue of sea piracy would be a thing of the past. But as a group, we were surprised at the time. We were not seeing any gunboats, and on daily basis we keep hearing the occurrences. We not even hear, we see how our sisters are being raped, our mothers and men, they are beaten to coma, values, properties worth values including engines being carted away by these sea thieves. And of course there's nothing we can do because we are not security agents. And so as a group I felt, because of the national spread of the group, and I know I have a strong voice. I cannot be a president of a national body of such a group that is well recognized, and I don't speak for my people. So I had to, with the help of Amo Pusinebo, Randolph Opono Rene Brown, at the time it was at the National Assembly, my group under my office now wrote to the National Assembly to say this is what we are suffering. This is our position, and as such that we are calling on the Nigerian Navy, and the Marine Police to account, for the gunboat that was given to them, handed over to them by the River State government. Of course, we were not seeing them, being, in use. So
Mm.
as God may, can you hear me?
I can
Yeah.
hear you. Please go
Then,
on. Go
yes,
on.
as God may have it, the letter was read with the help of Amo Pusinebo Orendo Iwo Brown. The letter was read at the floor of the National Assembly. So
Mm.
now we were now invited, to Abuja, to represent this, to give our own position on the matter. Also, the Navy High Command, they were also invited, and I went to Abuja on my own. I struggled, and there is one scenario, there one issue scenario that I can never forget. I tried to raise transport to get, because at the time I was in Bonny, because of
Mm-hmm.
some other issues. So I tried to raise transport, to get to Abuja, but I could not. All the persons I met in Bonny, they said, one issue or the other. I had to join ninth bus just
Mm.
because of the love, just because of the love I have for my community, for Bonny people. I had to take a 9 bus. And as I tell you, I know what I suffered in that bus. Up to 12 a.m., 12 noon the next day, we were still on the road. Meanwhile, the National Assembly members, the committee in charge of the petition, they were waiting for me. They were calling me. I said, I'm still in the bus. It was a very sad scenario, sad situation, that even when you are fighting for your people don't even believe, they don't even, appreciate that you're even fighting for them. So, but God
Okay.
may
So.
have it, I was at the National Assembly, and I defended
Mm.
the whole thing. So I want to thank Randolph Brown for the privilege, because while I was in Abuja, he took all the expenses, all the accommodation, and everything off me.
Mm.
So why
So.
coming back? Sorry, let me just make this salient point. Why coming back? I
Okay.
had nothing on me, so I had to call the chairman of council then, Honorable Isobo Toby. I said, Chairman, and I narrated the whole thing to him, and I'm in Abuja. That please, if you can help me for transport. My brother, I was shocked when the chairman, told me that, Emmanuel, why going to, you never informed me before going to Abuja. So whatever you, the way you manage to go to Abuja, you should manage and come back as a chairman of council. The Honorable
Hmm.
So was to raise transport for me to come back to Abuja for a cause that naturally he was supposed to champion as a chairman of council. So, but God may have it. Randolph Orende Brown gave me 20,000 naira for my coming back, and I think I'm still grateful and I'm indebted to him till today. So the
Hmm.
enough is enough. Now after the interview and everything, the National Assembly now gave an order to the Navy, Navy High Command that they should make sure that the Bonny Sea is protected. That Bonny is one of the good and lazy golden egg. That they should do whatever they can to make sure that
Hmm.
the sea, is safe and calm. And all through that 2017, 2018 December, our people traveled without molestation, without any, criminals attacking them and all of that. So that was then until 2017, 2018. And again, 2018, the issue now resurfaced again. It became a normal way of life for our people. Every day it is either they hijack this boat, it is either our people are crying, their goods is being carted away. Every day our people lost millions of naira, because of piracy and all of that.
Okay,
So
comrade.
yes,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
can.
So all right, great one. So sorry to butt in at that point. So between 2016 and 2017 was when that enough is enough campaign happened. Was it? Is that correct?
No, 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 no. That was my own personal struggle with the Youth Coalition for Good Governance.
Oh,
That
okay,
was not
okay,
part. That was
okay.
not part
So
of
up
the Enough
up
is
to the
Enough
National
campaign.
Assembly.
Yes, up to the National Assembly. Yes,
Okay.
that was
So
not part
because
of the Enough.
we saw that in 2019 something sprung up again, and
Yes,
the insecurity started and everything, and I think that was when the enough is enough now came up. Is that correct?
that's correct.
Okay. So how did
So
that campaign go?
okay, so actually, so in late 2018, 2019, the monsters they now came up again. And I at the time what there was one incident that transpired, and I was touched because at the time, because of that incident and so many experiences I've had, I told myself that if I can be doing this with my whole heart, not for what to gain, but because I was born for these reasons, I have the passion for my people, and here my people don't appreciate. I told myself that I will not, I will not, venture into any issues that concern Bonny Kingdom anymore. I told myself that. But when the issue now came again, because naturally I have the passion for my people and love my people, I cannot continue to sit and watch my people die and complain every day. So there's one issue that happened, and I was what I called, I text His Majesty. I say, Your Majesty, so this is what is happening on our waterways. And as a person, I am touched. And I want to take a position on this matter. His Majesty advised me and all of that. So, but finally, in the course of consultation and all of that, with Emmanuel Bristol at the presidential hotel, because at the time after my meeting in Port Harcourt with some stakeholders, I just immediately I entered my Facebook. I now saw what Emmanuel Bristol wrote on Facebook, and I say, wow, it means that we can work with him, to make sure that because Emmanuel Bristol at the time just was the national secretary of IYC. He just finished from that position, and I felt that
Mm-hmm.
with such a position, he can be a good voice, in the struggle, so that he can use his, that connection, that platform as well, to see how we can,
So
help and
you guys
champion the
started
cause
the
for our Bonny
struggle,
people.
and the enough. That was how the enough campaign came about.
Yeah, that was how the Enough is Enough campaign came about.
Okay, so let us tackle this issue of insecurity on our waterways.
Yeah.
Because right now I am informed, or I'm of the information that um, insecurity has gone to its barest minimum. So
Yeah.
people are traveling safe on our
Yeah.
waterways. Can you say, is this something we can applaud the current local government council leadership with, or does it go back to what the River State government has done, or does it go back to the order from the National Assembly, or we can just say that the current Bonny LJ council leadership has just focused on that and is doing a good job? What will you say?
Well, first, I, security issues, our security matters, these are not something that I can always bring to the public domain. But I want to assure you, and I want to tell you with all sincerity of purpose, that in the course of that enough is enough campaign, we did a lot of consultation, and I want to put it on record that yeah, we can, with all sincerity, give credence and credit to the present chairman of Bonny Local Government chairman, Engineer Rogers Irema, because the local government and the traditional institution, they form this strong bond and alliance, to make sure that the issues of I want to tell you that the local government chairman partner with some security agencies, who at the time they were going from one spot to another, from one camp to another, and making sure that they tame this issue of insecurity. And today that you're not seeing those issues happening again is as a result of the silent job and silent strategic policies put in place by the Irima-led administration. But it's unfortunate that the government is not, is not using that, is not loud on the achievement and successes made in the area of security. Even it has also gone to our villages, our communities that was ravaged by criminals and other intruders. Now, as I speak to you, those our communities and villages, now they've been taken back to by Bonny Kingdom. The chairman has asked all chiefs and opinion leaders to go back to their community and make sure they start life afresh in their communities. So David Irima administration, can go ahead to take the credit, because for you not to be seeing the issues of security, insecurity on our waterways again, he did a lot of things, of which most I cannot come here to start saying them because of their security issues. But I think David Irima did a very good work, and kudos to his administration and to the traditional institution who also partnered with him to make sure that the issue of insecurity on our waterways reduced to the barest minimum.
Interesting. I'm happy to hear that. I mean, whatever we make our people travel safe along our waterways brings joy to everybody. That is the only way we travel to Bonny now, that is affordable to everybody, and it is better we keep it safe for everybody to travel better. I also want to.
Sorry, before you digress, let me also inform us that we cannot wave out the issue of the successes achieved in the area of the insecurity in our waterways without mentioning the likes of Bristol, Emmanuel Bristol, without mentioning the likes of myself, Emmanuel Hart, Christian Ezekiel Hart, and Allah Jakuma Henry Hart. We, these are men who, we make sure that they stick their neck, night and day. My brother, while doing all this, no Bonny person gave us 1 naira. It's unfortunate that we are doing all this for the betterment of our people, but even our people who are well-to-do, none of them gave us a dime. It's on record. But myself and this person that I just mentioned, we were bringing our personal money. Even the last one we did, we went to redeem Viewpoint. It was Allah that sponsored single-handedly. So these are patriotic sons and sons of the kingdom that the kingdom should not joke with. Yes, it's on record. I just bring it to our notice.
Yeah, I really must commend their effort also. I follow some of the activities they have been championing, and I really must, especially Mayor Allah Hart and Christian Ezekiel Hart. They are fine comrades. We really must commend their effort. And like I said, whatever makes our people travel safe along the waterways is highly, highly welcomed. But comrade, let's move forward in the conversation. I mean, it is sad to hear some of the ordeals you had to go through initially when you wanted to travel to make a case that concerns everybody. But let's talk a little bit about that. Could it be that many have issues with you as a person? The reason why they don't come out for you, or they just don't like the fact that you are your drive on some of the causes you go about? Because many say we don't even know which political party is in. What do you think is the issue?
Yeah, let me naturally, the Bonny people, they are docile people. They are people that don't take their destiny in their own hands. And most times when they see you do certain things they cannot do sacrificially, they feel you're doing it because of the motive, or you're doing it because you have a personal interest. My brother, if I had personal interest in championing the cause of Bonny Kingdom, I would have maybe built a big house by now, or even gotten good cars. But I tell you, while on the cause for my kingdom, because people always tell me, say, my brother, if you're doing a thing or championing a cause for Bonny, make sure that you don't rob Bonny Kingdom, because there's always a karma. There's always karma that will come after you when you're dealing with anything that concerns Bonny. So I was I was very, very, I was very, very cautioned on how I do my things. So I've never done anything because of my personal aggrandizement. Never. And again, of course, my group is a national broad group. We cut across the entire countries. So there's nothing I would do that I will need. I have members in Bonny alone. We have about 300 membership in Bonny. So that's why whenever I want to do our thing, our champion or any cause is always successful. It's on record that I'm only the Bonny youth in Bonny that can do anything successfully without hitch when it comes to mobilization. So not that the people don't believe, they believe me. A lot of persons call me, when they one issue or the way when they want me to champion one issue for the kingdom or the other, they call me. But just that in Bonny, everybody wants to be leader at the same time. That is the problem we have today in Bonny. Everybody wants to be the leader at the same time. That is the truth. And leadership, some people are born leaders. Some people you struggle to attain leadership position. But some of them just want to assume without even going through the rudiments, and try to know, how you can lead. So that is the problem. Everybody want to, just like they say, the Bonny man is a British man. So that mentality has corrupted our people so much that they feel that nobody should want to be loyal to anybody. So everybody want to lead at the same time. So they believe in my cause. And there's nobody in Bonny Kingdom that I cannot call, or that even say my miscode I cannot read. So that tells you that they take me serious. That tells you where the level at which I've built my status. So not that they don't take me serious, but the challenge is everybody want to lead at the same time, and it is not possible. And that's the reason why you see we have several, like in the Bonny Youth Federation. I will have how many groups? Bonny Youth Federation, BYF this, BYF that, and all of that. But none of them are active, just because they don't want to follow this one that is doing well, or this one that have the vision. So because if you don't have the vision, there's nothing you can do. So first you must have a vision and work towards your vision. So, but everybody want to lead at the same time. And it's a challenge that if we don't reverse the hands of time, it will continue to affect us. That is why even politically we are struggling. So yeah,
I sort of agree with some of the points you have raised, which is true. I think everybody wants to be a leader at the same time. It's one of the major problems we really have. Okay, Comrade, let's move to the center a little bit. We'll come back to Bonny, but let me take you to the center a little bit. What would you say is your assessment of governance in Rivers State under the Governor Nyesom Wike? It's been about 4 or 5 years now, 6 years now. What would be your assessment? How will you rate the governor?
Well, following public opinion, and it's been alleged, whether based on assumption, presumption, or whatever they call it, that the governor is only concentrating on Obiako and Rivers State in his developmental strides. And for me, I think there is a lot sense on the position of public opinion, because several promises made by the governor, in other LGAs is yet to be fulfilled. And I can even go, like for instance, the Trans-Calabari Highway, the Ogoni and Andoni Unity Road, the Ban Ogai Road in that is linking Oyibo local government area, in Eche, the Chokocho Road, in Andoni, the general hospital in Andoni is in comatose, the same way other local governments are also in comatose. And also the Bonny Ring Road, that it is one of the promises the governor made on a tripod. The governor made 3 promises for the Bonny people. He said he called the Bonny Ring Road, he called the Port Harcourt Jetty, and the Bonny National Grammar School. But it's on record that today all these projects are all in comatose. It is either they are uncompleted, it is either they are abandoned, it is either the governor is looking the other way. And for me, the governor, yes, yeah, is trying his best to make sure that Port Harcourt and Obiako is developed, but that does not reflect the diversity of the state. And so the
mm.
development style is not across states, and it is unfortunate. And the governor has not performed in that respect credibly. That is my assessment to the governor.
Interesting. I mean, you said something about public opinion, and truly, people are having this public opinion that the governor focusing on Obiakpo and Port Harcourt might not be too healthy. But at the same time, when he celebrated his second term, I mean his first term in office, there were so many projects I saw that are spread across the states. But maybe he needs to do more. I know there are more projects also across the state, but we need to look at it. I'm trying to get someone in the government to tell us, into details about some of these projects, because probably the public is not getting a lot of information on what the governor is doing. We need to look at that also. So, but recently, for the federal road projects River State has done over the years, we got a refund from the federal government. What would you say about that? Should we be happy?
Well, I'm a bit skeptical on this particular subject, because the same governor who came to tell us, and in all fora and social media platforms and even on print, and he came to tell us that the Buhari-led federal government has refunded the state 78.9 billion, and everybody were happy, and of course they were thankful to the center. But just was it day for yesterday, about 3 days ago, the same governor, when the House of Assembly approved some money, maybe probably I will talk about that later. The same governor has come to say that the money was only approved but has not been disbursed. So the governor is double-minded. The governor is not unstable on this issue. So that's the rationale. So that's why we are also confused. The same governor that said the money has been refunded, the same governor is coming to say the money was only just approved and not refunded. So I think on this matter, the Rivers people are still confused on how whether the federal government has refunded or not. I think that's what what it is at the moment.
I was also surprised to see a very gigantic publication in the newspaper that period, just to thank the president on the refund, but also to hear again that the money that's been approved but has not been disbursed. But maybe we'll get a clear head over it very soon to know which one is really which. But the 18 billion naira loan request raised a lot of concern, and the House of Assembly has approved it. I know when our lawmaker in Bonny was actually talking about the loan in the House, he made mention of how that money will be used to complete projects across the state, especially the BNGS project that is hanging in Bonny Local Government there. What are your views? Do you sort of feel comfortable about this? Should the loan just go on, since at least some projects will be completed?
I think first and foremost, the State Assembly has come under serious scrutiny and criticism when it comes to the issue of this approval of 18 billion naira. First, but again, I say, why people tend to forget that when there is no opposition in any administration, in any government,
Mm,
the
mm,
government tend to be dictatorial in nature, and
mm,
that is where the governor, Chief Barrister Wike, has assumed, dictatorial tendencies. And of course, to my own assessment, the governor has also moved from democracy. His leadership has now grown to a full-blown, has moved from democracy to autocracy. It's now a one-man government, and people are not happy. People are complaining, and I think the governor should change his approach. So people should not continue to blame the assembly, maybe to be an appendage of the governor. What do you expect? There is no opposition, and even the other party, the APC, they are not serious. So the governor is having a free ride. So the assembly should not be blamed. Of course, they are there because these party people, so they are there to do his
but
bidding. Yeah.
but we should be happy that projects like the BNGS project will now be given funding and will be concentrated on. Does that not give you joy?
Of course, it gives me joy, but again, when you want to kill a dog or anything, they call it a bad name. So so other project that has been going on has it been okay? How many loans have they as a government collected to conclude that project? Why must it be tied to the Bonny National Project? So the Bonny National Project, of course, I was one of those championing at the time, advocating that the project should be completed, because at the time of electioneering, Bonny people came out 100%. Bonny people gave Governor Nyesom Wike 100%. They came all out in spite of the billions that was thrown at them. So I see no reason why at the time the Bonny people need the government most, the government will just abandon them, claiming that the contract was awarded to our people. No, it's not enough. You as a government, you should also go for an oversight. If you, for instance, look at every day on a daily basis, the governor goes to artillery, the governor goes to Rumokoro, the governor goes to Garrison to make sure that the project is continuous. So the governor is as well supposed to come to Bonny or send a delegation to Bonny to make sure that the contractors are in order. But the governor just careless abandon because it's not Obia or Port Harcourt. So that is the perception of the people. But I want to appreciate him for his political will to make sure that the project is completed. But although people are tying it, to the issue of the 27, that the governor is trying to play a smart one because of what he stands to benefit, or because it's kind of politics he wants to play. He wants to give with the left and take back with the right. So these are speculation. Of course, I am not in the position of the government to clarify those issues. Yes.
Wow. I'm just hearing this angle for the first time. Oh, okay. Interesting. So, but you've brought up the Train 7 job now. Let me just digress again back to the local issues. The Train 7 job hitting Bonny now. Are we ready? Do you think we are ready for it? I'm so worried, comrade. I'm so worried, comrade. You see, over 20,000 jobs may be hitting Bonny very soon, but I'm concerned. You guys are there a lot of times more than me, so maybe you can tell me: is Bonny ready for the Train 7 job or jobs?
Well, my brother, just like what I said earlier, I think Dr. Bara, was in the live program sometime, and he did justice to the program on that program, to this topic on that program. We are not ready, because at the time, Bonny is a well-structured community, and of which there are certain responsibilities that that are supposed to be championed by the youths. There are certain responsibilities. That was why when the issue of training of 5,000 persons, by the Allah-led Peru, I was happy, but the thing was stalled at the long run. So at the time I was a case. I said at the senior-led BYF at the time, I said, what are you people putting on ground to prepare our people for the 27? It is not enough to say because we are host communities. No, it's not enough. As host communities, we also need to build capacity. From 21 to 26, we've suffered marginalization, we've suffered negligence, we've suffered with that attitude that they are not competent and all of that. So we've also not learned from all 21 to 26. And I also say that 27, I'm just praying for our people. If really it will take our right of place in 27. Because at the time there is no training. Some persons as I speak to you are in abroad. Some persons are in abroad, either from one company, training them in preparation, even for post 27 projects. Because after the 27, we also fall back to the maintenance. So who are the persons? Who are they preparing to take over or to be part of as energy staff in the maintenance period?
So okay, let me assume that people are watching now, and probably people that can do something about this are watching. They would like to get maybe 2 or 3 practical ways that we can prepare for this Train 7. You want to share with us? 2 or so that we can pick that
the
up.
Bonny people, they are not watching. They are not watching. They are always logistical when it comes to issue of this kind of nature. For instance, look at our brother Barrister Clinton. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Look at our brother Barrister Clinton coming to say, after understudying the impact, the agreement, the local content entered into with some non-indigenous, the effect and the implications to our contractors, who are our Bonny brothers and our sisters. Some youth, who are our youth, came on social media and started saying a lot of nonsense that why didn't he come out to talk about the abandonment of the Bonny channel? Why didn't he come out to rather than them trying to gang up with him, to support him, to make sure that they fight the common enemy, to make sure that our people are given their rightful place. Rather, they came out to criticize such a man who came out to spend his time, his resources, to make sure that he fight. And he said that he's not a contractor. He's not even interested in being a contractor. He's very comfortable. But so this is the problem for our people.
Comrade, allow me to butt in here. Yes, allow me to butt in here. We all saw what the Barrister Clinton tried to do, and the only issue people had with that fight he was speaking of was the fact that he used Old Boys BNGS, umbrella. That was the only issue. Old Boys BNGS is large, and you cannot say you are coming to speak under the name of BNGS. And then the entire BNGS people never gave you the authority to do so. That was the only concern. He had a good fight. He had a good fight.
Don't say so. Comrade, don't say so. The Old Boys Bonny National Grammar School Old Boys Association is a registered entity. They have board of trustees. They have executive. And Barrister Clinton represents. He is the chairman of the board of trustees. So he has the impetus and all it takes to speak on behalf of the organization. So how many of the Old Boys you see, if not for youth like us coming out to condemn his activity? Fine, I say even though everybody's not in their way, but is the cause going to benefit the common man in Bonny Kingdom? Yes. Why are they fighting? The idea should be, provided this team will be to the benefit of everybody. I expected that everybody would have lined up behind him and support him and give him all the necessary support, rather than coming to pull down, to castigate, to make a whole lot of insinuations. And that is what has kept us backward. We always want to put people down. That's what I said. Everybody wants to lead at the same time. It is not possible. So at times, people should look beyond the ordinary. So some people, because of their kind of nature, whatever you're doing, whether it's a sacrifice or not, they see that you have personal interest. Who said so? It's not everyone that does things with personal interest. Some person are doing for the paper.
Comrade, can you hear me?
So that's the position.
Okay, can you hear me, please?
I can hear you.
All right, great. Allow me to butt in and cut you a little there. I also have a concern that the Bonny local government leadership is silent on this issue of Train 7. We don't get to see anything visible the government is doing to prepare its people for the jobs that are coming. Are you not also concerned?
Well, like I said, Bonny is structured in such a way that we all know where we fall. Naturally, it is the Bonny Youth Federation and the Bonny Integrated Center Bonny is supposed to champion and pilot and bring out and arrange for a framework, policies that will make sure and key in, so that these our elders and our fathers will key in. It is not the elders or the chairman because come on. No, that's what I'm saying. See, the government has a lot of pressures and a lot of things, in their head and in their hands. So even if the government, is not thinking in that direction, I expected the then leadership of the BOF to champion this cause, to see the future and say, for the social this, for social that, this is what our people should be prepared for. This is how to prepare this and work in tandem with the integrated recruitment center. These are platforms, these are channels that we can garner all our expertise. These are channels that we can put together all what we want as a people and sell it to the chairman and to the traditional institution. And I know the kind of leadership we have in the traditional setting and in the government, they will always, support. So, but you want our fathers now sit down to think for us. That is the problem we are having. We want our fathers, our elders to come and think for us. Whereas we are supposed to, we are supposed to be the one to set the roadmap and sell it to our fathers, they will not key into it and say, yes, my son, we can support you in this. And at the end of the day, success will become ours. But even the elders are busy, and the youth too are just not serious because we are not seeing the future. And that's the problem. And if you come out tomorrow to say you want to do this, they will not say, hey, you want to circumvent their power, you want to hijack the system. That is the problem we are having. So my brother, it is not about we should stop all this leader, chairman thing, chairman that. The chairman is also a human being, he has his own problems. So we also have channels that can also garner support and work in parallel pursuit to make sure that we achieve success and promote and develop our kingdom. That's the truth. And that's why we are lagging behind.
Comrade, I'm forced to ask you, comrade, are you a member of the PDP?
Well, I am, my brother. I stand for good governance. You see, people tend to misunderstand. That's why I said people, because of their kind of nature. Me, I've learned. I was born being a sacrificial lamb. Yes, that has been my position. It has been my kind of person. So I am not moved by how much you give me, because even while during the last election, comrade, let me tell you this now. During the last election, I made a position, and I said, because I was angry in my heart that because Bonny people gave Wike more than 100%, and even after his first tenure, there was nothing to show for in Bonny that Wike did for Bonny Kingdom. And I made my position, and I said, as a patriotic son of Bonny Kingdom, that I will not support Governor Wike in his second tenure ambition. I told myself,
and you made this position.
I have no regret about that. People castigated me. I told them that even if I would stand alone, for the fact that he did not do anything for Bonny Kingdom, and I am a patriotic son of Bonny Kingdom, I will not support him. And I stood my ground, and I never supported him. A lot of persons come to say, he has gone to APC, he has did that. My brother, I'm not a psychophant. I know what I want. I stand.
Comrade, allow me to. Oh, okay. We have lost him. We have lost him. I wanted to put in a question there, but we have lost him. Let's try to get him back on. He's trying to connect back. He's going to come back. I wanted to ask him. We recall that incident. Comrade, we lost you there in a minute, but welcome back. So what I wanted to ask you was, we remember your position. We remember your position at that time in the election. But many of us, or many people, worry that you made this position from the APC, having moved from the PDP to the APC. So many people were confused. What is your side? You have just jumping from this ship to this ship to take a position. So even if your position made a lot of sense, but the angles you were making it from creates a sort of confusion. Maybe you can help us clarify. Are you a member of the APC or a member of the PDP?
Can you hear me, comrade?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello. Yeah, I have never jumped any political party before. Telling me the parties that I've played before, that people always misunderstand my actions. Even when you tend to, but of course I'm not entitled to how they believe or how they intend to believe. Like I said that at that time, I said because of social reasons, I will not support his second coming. Of which I decided to say, okay, and I'm one person, I support individual and not a political party. And at the time, I supported Honorable Henry Halliday, because of course he must come from a political party for you to run any election in Nigeria. And of course, I supported Honorable Henry Halliday in his ambition. And after that, I was also supporting Honorable Randolph Brown for House of Reps at the time. If I was supporting Honorable Henry Halliday, I was supporting Honorable Henry Halliday. I am a patriotic son of Bonny Kingdom, and whatever that stands to promote Bonny, that is where I stand. So I am advocate for good governance, and wherever I see good governance, I turn towards it, and I support it. So that's why even most time recently I've come to call to appeal to thank Abie and some other person. A lot of people say, Emma, where do you stand? I say I stand for good governance. We should not to live in denial. We should should see the truth and say it. And that is my position, and that is where I stand till tomorrow.
All right, that's clear enough, comrade. I have two questions before I let you go, but one question I can't fail to ask you. You had a case with the former BIRC chairman, that's the Bonny Integrated Recruitment Center chairman, and he had dragged you to court for a case. I mean the person of Amapu Senebo Wilson Jumbo. Why did that happen? I've not had the opportunity to ask you, but why did he drag you to court, and what's the status of that case now? Maybe in 2-3 minutes, just let us know.
Okay, thank you very quickly. I'm one person that when I'm fighting a just cause, I don't make noise. Even if I'm challenged, I don't make noise. In 2016, my Bonny branch, the Youth College of Bonny for Good Governance, Bonny branch, wrote to the palace of alleged selling of chances at the Beru at the time. So me, I was not the Bonny branch chairman. The Bonny branch chairman signed the letter, and the secretary. I never knew about the whole thing. But the palace now, summoned the chairman and my group, tendered some documents to say this is why they made, such a position and all of that. So at the end of the day, the traditional institution now say, okay, they should go, that they will resolve the issue. After the Amopusinabo came out from the palace, he now said that my group should write apology to him within 7 days. My group said there is no way they can write apology, to him and all of that.
His network. I think he's having some network issues, but we have like 5 more minutes or 6 to close the show. Why he's trying to come back on? Okay. Yeah, Comrade, welcome back. We can hear you. Go on.
Yeah. So at the time, my group said they cannot write any apology letter, owing to the fact that they have, a document and all of that. My brother, within a month in that period, he was asked to hand over the office to Allah Jakuma Hart. That was what led him. He now dragged me to the court to say, okay, what was his claim? He said, I was the one behind the letter. How will I be the one behind the letter? Letter that does not carry my signature, that does not carry my name, and there's nothing. That matter lasted for 3 years. 3 years, and I was going through pains. And in all of this, I was still championing the cause of the kingdom. I also I told His Majesty about this matter, that this is what I'm going through for matter I know nothing about. At the end of the day, the court struck out the case, for lack of merit and all of that. So I want to give God the glory. And I've never, backpedal in serving my kingdom. It's also interesting to know. I was also one of those. I was also a person that championed and advocated for the emergence of a Bonny rector in the oil and gas Federal Polytechnic Bonny. Today, at the time, our people felt that this is a federal thing. Now, why you go to maybe Bonny? I said because you are short-sighted. So
his network. Comrade, can you hear me? I think you're
and
frozen.
Our people and other people across the Niger Delta and the Nigeria are benefiting from the place. So I'm following you. I'm hearing you.
Okay, go on. We can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you. Go on.
I've been an advocate of good governance, and I've championed the cause of Bonny Kingdom selflessly. And that is where today, anywhere I enter in Bonny today, I have I have a name. People respect me because I've always stood for the right thing. I've never used my platform, to win-chant anybody or to try to, malign somebody or write. Some people see me call me petition, and I've never written one petition against anybody. They should bring that petition. Let me see. I have never. Rather, I prefer going out to fight institution for the betterment of Bonny Kingdom. I've never written any petition one against anybody, and it's on record. So at the end of the day, court gave me stroke out the case, and I want to thank God. I also want to thank Amapu Senebo. Wilson is my father, and at the end of the day, I appeal to him that he misunderstood. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, Comrade, allow me to butt in here. Yeah, I can hear you now. Hear you now. Allow me. Hello, Comrade.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Okay. If you can hear me, just come back on again. I think it is breaking up. Okay. It's been an interesting conversation. I mean, So much has been shared, but it makes sense. It was good to hear the update of that his court case, and that is because that court case lingered for a while. But quite interesting. So let's try and get him back on. Let's conclude. I have just one more question for him, and then we'll go off. But Comrade Emmanuel Hart has just been on a lot of issues around governance, and it's good to hear his own perspective. You say they say you don't shave a man's head in his absence. So it was important to hear his own view, just to clarify some of the issues. But it's a good one, and I'm happy to hear some of his views. He's back up, comrade.
Yes.
Yes, well, thank you for that update on the court case, and let me most sincerely thank you for the work you do, and your consistency and your perseverance. Like you have rightly said, you don't have any personal interest. That is the most important thing, because in the region we are in, many are quick, to check what your interest is. Is it because he's planning to run for office one day, so he's planning to work on the underground, so tomorrow he will say this is what he has done, or there's an end game to everything. But when we do things selflessly, there's always a reward at the end that God Almighty gives to us. But I want to thank you. Sometimes I ask myself, what is his courage? What did they push in myself? All this kind of thing they go do. Um, but it's all good. So, but before I let you go, I will fail to ask you. You have given some good thumbs up to the local government in the area of security. But I want to ask you on other areas of its governance. Is Bonny local government leadership doing enough in other areas, in the local government, aside security? What is your view specifically? And because I'm asking this because we are going very soon into an election era, and we'll be going back next year to vote for the local government offices. Should we vote for the local government chairman again if that time comes?
Yes, we should vote for him 100%. In the sense that we have a local government chairman that is not selfish, that is not greedy. A lot of chairmen have come and gone. Let me take for instance in the area of the tenement rates. What we collect, I heard, I'm not in government, but I heard is 140, 180,000. Successive administration have come and gone collecting the same money. But because of the vision of the present local government chairman, he came on, but he said, no, I shall not continue. We started collecting this money ever since we only had Aru A1. But today we have Aru A1, Aru 3, Aru A2, Aru A3, and all of that. Today we have airports, and we have every other thing. I'm talking now in the respect of the NLNG.
Yes.
And yet they were still paying, this meager money. And the chairman came and said, no, for the interest of my people, say I will have to review this money. And it's on record that for today, for 2 years, the local government chairman have not collected tenement rates. How many persons, if you're not greedy, how many persons can do that? They will say, after I'm leaving office, let me just grab it, But he said, no, I want money for projects for my people, and all of that. So I want to give him kudos for that. And I want to show you that it is not the fault of the local government, that in fact he's even trying. Look at he has completed the former government quarters at the Corporate Lodge. He's also trying to complete the Beggar Road Market, done by the previous administration, and some other things that he's doing. It is not the government, the fault of the government. Some persons are bereft of ideas, they don't know what is happening, and they don't want to know because they want to inquire. For me, I've done my personal check and personal findings, and not that the chairman we should even give him an award. Today, some local governments on record, some chairmen are sacked, are on suspension, or whatever name it is being called by the governor, because they went as far as collecting loans from banks. These are local government chairmen. We want their name to be written in gold because they want to do projects for their people, and in the system there's no money. So everybody is trying to see how they can get money and do something to write their name in the sand of time. But thank God, because of the kind of person our chairman is, he's very loyal to his leaders, he's very loyal to the governor, and as such, he has kept, to the doctrine and to the policies of the government. And that is why today he's still shining. So rather than trying to castigate him or trying to pull him down, Bonny people should thank him. Bonny people should embrace him. At the time I
Comrade.
see, ever since he has, yes, I can hear you.
Okay,
So
comrade.
the chairman, he is doing, and I know if he has a lot of resources, it's man who have the heart of Bonny people, who have the interest of Bonny people, he will do more. So for now, there's no money in the government, and that's why they're all struggling across all the local governments. They're all struggling.
So
the chairman,
I'm really happy to hear your view on this, comrade. That's a good one. But before I let you go, tell me, should we be surprised if we see you in office in government with an appointment any day? Will you accept an appointment, a government appointment?
My brother, provided such appointment will not, of course, will not compromise my stand for good governance. You understand? Look at Festus Keyamo today. Festus Keyamo has been an woman rights activist. Today he is supporting and giving support to the government of President Muhammadu Buhari. So we have people who champion good causes, people who champion development of people. These are people that you're supposed to bring in government, because these are people with broad knowledge and idea who will come in. I want to put it on record that during a series time, it's on record that I was one of those who benefited from series government. I was one of those he gave contracts to clean gutters in Bonny Kingdom, and he gave me 1 month. Yes, he gave me 1 month to execute that project, but I used 2 weeks and finish the project. Until today, I know Cyril will be shocked that I am not the person that just come to speak because I want to speak. I'm the person that speak what I can do. So I know till today Cyril holds me in a very high esteem because of that singular honor. The money was small, and I used the money for the project and involve people who finish the project. That was why in the time of Cyril, we never had serious, flooding in Bonny Kingdom and all of that. So because we have the capacity to deliver, what we are looking for is a platform to serve Bonny Kingdom. And I know.
Comrade, you're frozen, but if you can hear me, it's been an amazing time chatting with you. I'm great one. I'm happy for the last revelation you could make. That gives us some sense of relief that we still have people who will fight for good governance and still be able to be open to serve. Comrade, are you there with me? You're frozen. Okay, try and rejoin so we can just you can just give your concluding statement and so that we can go. But it's been an amazing conversation with you, very explosive, very eye-opening. We have touched on a lot of critical areas, which I think is very important for us to hear. And Comrade Emmanuel Hart is saying we should vote for the David Irima administration to come back for his second term next year, that he has done well enough that in fact we should give him an award. I will save this question to whenever I have the time to chat with the local government chairman. I know we are working on getting him on the show in due time, so I can ask him specifically to get his view if he thinks he has really done enough for Bonny people to deserve a second term. Comrade, welcome back. Comrade, welcome back.
Thank
Can you hear
you. I
me?
can understand the network.
Yeah. So the network, but I think you have left it in a very good place for us to wrap up the show for today. It was good chatting with you, and in fact, the last revelation you made, it skipped my mind. I wanted to ask you since, but it's good you talked about it. That you executed a project in serious government, and you did it under 2 weeks instead of the timeline of 1 month. For me, it is good we have people that speak about good governance, and they are open to serve, because we can't leave the office for the same politicians we are trying to fight. Why don't we go there too and do it and get it done and do it better? So that's been a good one chatting with you. But on the subject of if the local government chairman has done well and deserves a second term, interestingly, I'm happy to get your view on that. But at the same time, I'm hoping to also hear from him directly if he believes he has actually done enough to deserve a second term. And we are working it underground to see how I can get him on the show. And I'll be asking him specifically directly to get his view. Does he think he has done enough for Bonny people? We should be able to put side by side promises versus his performance and be able to weigh it and see if,
No, no,
aside
no. At this time,
quality.
don't look at the promises.
Mm, comrade, you're frozen again. Ah, your network is beginning to change it. But you want
That
to
is the
say
mistake
so?
people make. Hello,
Okay,
can you hear me?
I,
Yeah,
I I'm with
people.
you now.
The
I'm
mistake
with you.
people are making is, yeah, they are judging the local government chairman based on his promises. When you are asked, when you are out of government, you would think that when you get into government, you will do this, you will do that, and all of that. But when you get to government, the ball game is different. So people should judge him based on the resources available to him. That is the thing. He doesn't have any money anywhere. Of course, 2 years now he has not also received tournament rate from LNG, and I think Shell, if I'm right. So where will he get money to do projects? So people should judge him based on this fact. And I know him.
Mm,
He's a man with an open heart. He's a man who mean well for Bonny Kingdom. My brother, every politician want to make a mark for himself. So just like what Abi is doing today, people are not seeing it but in the next 5-10 years, people will see the kind of graduate Bonny Kingdom will produce. Because with this, what Abia is doing, there will be an upsurge of graduates in Bonny Kingdom who will be well prepared, to represent Bonny in every place, in everywhere, in every space of life, that where we are looking today. So people should give people the benefit of doubt. Like I also finally, before I go outside, I also want to appeal to our people that the present Bonny Integrated Recruitment Center chairman, Upumingi, as his fondly called, they should give him maximum support. Upumingi has the capacity, he has the experience, and he is one man that can surpass the legacies of Wise Senator Idabelema Hart. Why am I saying so? He has worked with Idabelema Hart. He knows the secret of the success of Idabelema. He knows the policies. He knows his policy trust. And I believe with the person I know of, Jumbo, he will, take the successes of the Dabalama Heart and also add his own experience to the system, and and,
all
and,
right,
and, and perform very well. So I know he will
Com-
do very well. So Bonny people should make sure they give him maximum support if we must
comrade.
succeed, and if we must then in the area of the governor, say he wants to appoint SA on 27.
Mm,
I don't know if I can come in 1 minute to speak on this matter.
just,
For
just
me,
1 minute, comrade, so that we can wrap up. 1 minute.
yes. For me, I want to appeal. Yeah, I want to appeal to the governor. I want to appeal to the governor. The governor has been working in pari passu with His Majesty. The governor should work with His Majesty. If there's anything he needs to know from the 27, there's no need, trying to say he wants to appoint, somebody, to give him feedback or to liaise with him. He should work with His Majesty. The Majesty will give him all what he needs. But if he says that he must go ahead to do his plans, then it must be a Bonny person, because already we are shortchanged in this administration. So he should appoint a Bonny person, to add as a deficit in his administration. That will give the Bonny people a sense of belonging in his
Comrade,
administration further.
Comrade
Yeah.
Emmanuel Hart, thank you so much for your views. Perfect. And I like how you chip it in the issue of the essay on train 7. I'm hoping that when I have my chat with the BRC chairman Opumingi, we'll talk a lot that entails jobs and what the center is planning to do for train 7. Once again, thank you for your time and for coming on the show.
Yeah. Thank you for the privilege to be on this
Thank
platform.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so that's it, guys, for today. A lot, but you can see these are the issues. These are the issues you can see. But we have been able to talk about a lot, from 7 jobs to governance and everything. But we are still a work in progress, and we'll keep having the conversation. Many don't see why we're having these conversations, but you don't know the kind of feedbacks I have gotten from some of the conversations we have here is some of the things that keeps propelling me to have more and more. And For me, I'm happy about that. It gives me a lot of joy. We don't know where the conversation will lead us to, but we are taking the television, the TV inside the rooms and places of people, and so that they can join the conversation to see what is happening, to hear what is happening. You don't want to be amazed. I don't want to say it, but people have been calling me, and people have called me on some of the things we talk about on this show. So we'll keep having more and more conversations, and this is where we wrap up for this week and this weekend. And I will be back next week with a new set of discussion for us to have. But be sure that I'll be driving more and more on the conversation of governance and how we can better it. And I hope to start a series very soon, and that is River State Beyond COVID-19. How can we build River State beyond COVID 19? COVID 19 has disrupted the ecosystem of governance and everything, but how can we build a better River State beyond COVID 19? And I have a lot of speakers from next week who will be speaking to this subject matter. Please tune in with us next weekend for us to hear more. How can we build River State beyond COVID 19? Anyways, let me call it a wrap here. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. My name is Wisdom. This is the Hangout series, and I'll catch you next week. Have a lovely week ahead.